Hi, everybody. I totally get that you might not be here, but yeah, nothing like some technical challenges. Oh my gosh, this light. So the issue was that our camera was not working, so we're trying something else. So I just want to be here because I know that you can come back and revisit it. So welcome to Healing First on the 1st of July. So happy July, everybody. I hope your June was peaceful and calm and loving. If it was anything like mine, then you might have had a lot of stuff showing up. So thank you for those that have already found us here. So sorry about all that. Little bit crazy. It's been a little bit of a crazy day. So, okay. So I want to take a deep breath. Allow myself to come back to what we're going to participate in for the next little while together. What I want to talk about is I want to talk about those feelings that we don't necessarily like having. Those feelings that when they come up, they tend to feel a little exaggerated. They tend to feel over the top maybe because they're not the favorite feeling. So they might be something like anger or shame or guilt or fear. And so when they arise, they're kind of coming in a really big way. And I feel like that happens because we tend to not know what to do with those feelings. So we don't necessarily stuff them down. We honor them as best we can. So I want to talk about them. I want to talk about how we can move through challenging emotions, how we can heal and repair those overwhelming experiences within ourselves, within our lives. And part of where this came from for me is this came from a place of people asking me, like, I just want this to go away. This is just so uncomfortable. I'm just going to check our. And that makes sense, right? It is really uncomfortable to feel so afraid or to be uncertain or to feel unloved. So maybe you feel unworthy, insecure. It makes sense that we might not want to have those feelings, that we might want them to go away. And I want to breathe that. I want to feel that with you. That really does make sense. And as you know, having those feelings are so important in having the other feelings that we do wish to cultivate, that we do wish to have more of, the joy, the bliss, the ecstasy. They do go hand in hand with those parts of us that feel unworthy or feel angry or resentful. And it's so important that we allow all of our feelings to arise. So I want to give some tools in helping us move through, heal, survive some of that discomfort. And the first thing, as you know, is to allow. You knew I was going to say that. We must allow. We must show up for. If we deny or avoid what arises within us, it does get big like a volcano. And we might feel so much guilt or shame because it's not just this experience, it's 10 others. And that's normal too. So wherever you're at, however you're showing up, be gentle, be kind, be loving. Allow, though. It is time that we open that door, because if you're not opening the door, then it's going to open the door for you and say, listen, I need you now. And that's another really important part. Life is not out to get us. We're not in this experience to be punished. We're being offered the opportunity to show up for parts of ourselves that need our love, that need our attention, that need to be heard. And believe me, there are some beautiful gifts inside of all of these experiences. Okay, so another important part of this to pull through is talking about moving out of the victimization of these experiences, which makes sense because we do feel the victim of these experiences sometimes. We do feel overwhelmed in our anger, overwhelmed in our guilt, overwhelmed in our insecurities. Again, that makes sense. And yet, what do we do with that when we show up for it? So that's why I say, let's notice, let's allow. Because in noticing and allowing, we get to make a choice. We get to pull in our whole being. Meaning that Thank you for whoever just sent some love. I felt that. Meaning that we look at what's happening and we say on some level, whether it's concrete words or just a feeling or a thought, I am willing to change. I am willing to move beyond this experience. I'm willing to release the need for this experience. So let me kind of say that again because I interrupted it a little bit. So we're showing up, we're allowing, and we're noticing for whatever arises. And we're moving ourselves into a very powerful position where we get to decide where we want to go. And I'm going to invite you to choose to show up for whatever is arising, meaning show up in the anger, the guilt, the resentment, the shame. So I am willing to release the need for ... I am willing to change. I am willing to love this part of me. That is so powerful. It's okay that you're not sure how to heal or repair this or love this part of you. I just invite you to say, I'm willing to love you. I'm willing to shift this relationship. Because let me tell you what I feel happens a lot, is I feel that people meet up with these parts of themselves and they don't like these parts, so they want them to go away. So now we have a part that really, really, really needs you. It's yelling at you. You can feel it. You're just like and you hate it. So you're like, go away. I don't want you to be here. And this part says, but I really, 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 really need you. But okay, and it goes away. And then some other experience allows us the opportunity to look at this part again, and here it comes again, and it's a little bit bigger this time because it was rejected or denied a time before. So it's bigger, and it says, listen, I really need you. And maybe this time you can't handle that because it's just so overwhelming, so you do shut down, or you do start crying, and these are wondrous things. These are positive things. We're not doing anything wrong. We just aren't sure how to handle it, and so I'm giving you some of these tools or some of the things that work for me. So you meet up with this part of you that needs you. You recognize that it might need you. I don't even need you to believe it. Just try it on. Showing up for the part that needs your love and attention and needs some repair, needs to be heard. That's what's important. What are our basic needs? Parts of us need to be heard, they need to be supported, and they need to be loved. Through and through, these parts of us need that. So it's not necessarily about dissecting what arises. You don't need to go, why am I depressed? Why am I sad? Why am I angry? And those things are important. And believe me, those parts of you might have lots to say when you show up for them. Meaning, what does showing up mean? Meaning you're going to make time for them. Meaning you're going to be okay being uncomfortable because those parts of you are already uncomfortable and they're already there. Okay. And again, remember how I open. What am I talking about? I'm talking about how do I get this feeling to go away? You go there. You show up for it. You go into it, which is maybe the exact opposite of what you might have been told before, or what others are comfortable with around you. And I'm inviting you to do it anyway because I choose and I want for you the most miraculous life, the most peaceful, the most blissful, the happiest. And it doesn't mean that we don't feel shame or guilt or anger or all of those feelings that are uncomfortable. It means that when we feel them, we show up and we love them, and they don't have any power over us. We are not a victim to those parts of ourselves. This is big stuff, okay? So in this way, those of you that know me, I'm going to remind you that what am I talking about? I'm talking about becoming best friends with all of your parts. So if I'm not in competition, we're not competing. Sometimes I'm winning because my feelings are so big and I'm going to make you shut down, or I'm not going to just reject you and deny you. I'm not fighting. I'm saying, hey, okay, I have all of these parts. I have a part of me that doesn't want to go there. I don't even know what to do with you. And I have a part that just needs and needs and needs that I don't even totally understand, and that's okay. And we allow and we surrender to, and we show up for, and we say, okay, what do we do with a friend? We ask, right? We say, what's going on? Man, I don't really understand. And that part of you says, thank you. I don't either. I don't get it. I don't know what to do. And you say, oh my gosh, that makes sense. Right? We're going to validate that. And we're going to become friends. So I'm going to tell you how this might go for me. And I told this to someone, and I hope that this someone is watching and is here, because this is partly where this came from. So I want to honor her. She's so beautiful. So let's say, and this is totally true, let me make it true. Let's say what? So in this beautiful month of unraveling parts of me, I met up with parts of me this month that felt so unlovable. And I didn't even know they were there. And they showed up for me in such a beautiful and painful way. And it came in, and I had an experience, and I don't remember the exact one, but believe me, there were many, because once I opened this door and I started showing up for this part of me that I didn't know was even there, I just started feeling all these things, and all of these experiences were arising as far as me feeling insecure, me feeling unlovable. So I meet my unlovable self, this part of me that says, I hate you. We're not lovable. I'm so sick and tired of you. You don't even look at me. And I listened to what I was saying to myself. And I said, you know what? You're right. I haven't been looking at you. I'm so sorry. I didn't even know you were here. I love you so much. And I'm going to be honest. This part of me then said, oh yeah, really? You love me? Oh yeah, sure. Do you want to, look at all these times you just rejected me. You just wanted me to go away. And I said, yeah, I can see why you would say that. But I accept you now, and I do hear you, and I'm going to stay here as long as you need to. And I'm going to keep showing up for you. And believe me, this part of me said, oh yeah, okay, sure you are. And what did I do? I started showing up every day for this part of me. And every day for about a month, I would make sure that I spent time, and I went into this really, really painful place. And I said, I love you so much, and I'm just going to keep showing up. I get it. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I love you. And these parts of me started showing me ways and why I felt the way I did. And these experiences that, yeah, I kind of remember, but I wasn't ready maybe to deal with some of the pain of that. And I'm not going to lie, there were moments when I said, you know what, I can't do this. I just sat here for 30 minutes and I'm bawling my eyes out, that really ugly, beautiful cry that you just, I'm there. And I'm like, I said it. I said, I'm okay. I need a break. I am done. I can't do this anymore. I need a break. And that part of me gave it to me. It said, okay, all right, I'll give you a break. We'll see if you show up. I'm sure that there was some little tough part of me that said, we'll see if you come back next time. But I did. I came back the next day and I said, I know that was too much, and I could feel it ease out, and I was willing to change, and I was willing to release it, and I needed a break, and I'm allowed, right? I'm in charge. All of me is in charge, not just the part of me in the pain. That only happens when we don't know what to do, when we're not fully showing up, okay? So then I showed up, came back, and now something magical is starting to happen. Now this part of me, this unlovable part, is starting to feel loved and is willing to not be separate from me anymore. And it is so beautiful when you can love yourself in this way, because then we can love each other in this way. It's a beautiful thing. So eventually what happened, and believe me, we're still repairing and we're still loving, but this part of me said, finally, you know what? I love you too. And in that moment, that's the healing that I'm talking about. That's the repair work that I'm pulling through. Then I get to be whole and I get to be complete. Because in that experience, in that pain, I was separate. I had a very separate part. And sometimes it does require being aware. Listen, you have other parts too that are okay. And you have other parts that aren't okay right now. We are allowed. We are allowed to be all of our parts at any given time, and we are not the victim of them, not even within ourselves. Sorry, I was looking at my notes. I want to make sure I covered everything. You know, in our beautiful humanness, we understand things a lot. We can understand them much quicker than we can know them, and I mean know them in our hearts. And that's normal. This is how it works. Okay, so we have this experience where we understand what healthy is. We understand it's okay to feel unlovable or unworthy or shame. And yet, until we have a knowing of that, we need to meet up with and integrate with the parts that think, yeah, but I don't like it and I want it to go away. Or the parts of us that say, you know what, though, nobody wants to see my unlovable parts or my unworthy parts. Like, we need to dissect and like peel away all the nuances of why we do behave in a particular way, why we do have feelings in a particular way. That's why I'm always talking about feelings. Ooh, the seat's bouncy. Because we need to be in our feeling space, because that's where all of this wisdom and this magic is. And oftentimes we're just like, no, we're not going to go there. And I'm begging you to please go there. Please. You need you. And you're really the only one who can be there for you. Okay, so we have this part that gets it. We're like, yep, that totally makes sense to me. And yet I'm aware inside, maybe not so aware, that parts of me don't really like it though, and aren't really integrating all of that. So then we just keep showing up. We just keep trying. I do get that. I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to keep showing up until we meet up with the experience of it. So the experience is in that moment when I am lovingly integrated with my unworthiness, my unlovable parts, my insecure parts. And I could feel it, and I could know that I am unconditionally loved, and then I'm whole. So understanding, you know, I feel like a lot of times we talk, this is partly why this experience is kind of hard for me, because I'm just like, blah, 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 I'm talking at you. You can go, yeah, Brenda, I get it. And yet we need to have the experience with it. This is the only way it works. So if you're really getting this, if you're already here by me explaining it, that means that you've actually already had the experience. And I'm kind of bringing the understanding to it. So that was important somehow. I don't know. Someone needed to hear that. Melanie, you have a comment of, I do not know how to communicate I need to release. Can you clarify on that? Because I'd like to answer that question. Just in a way. I'm not sure if you're asking about the affirmation, I would say. A lot of times when I am in discomfort or pain, I will immediately go, I am willing to release the need for this. I will come right out and put that out there, because I am more powerful than I realize, as are you. So what are you choosing, right? What are we powerfully standing in? All right, so I'd like to thank so much the couple of people that found their way back to me again. I promise you there is going to be this beautiful moment where I understand technology and it works out effortlessly. Keeping everything inside. Yes, okay. You know, Brene Brown says that our most powerful parts is our vulnerability. So allowing yourself lovingly, gently to show up for whatever is going on inside, it does take practice. And I promise with my whole being, my heart, that you start showing up for you in gentle, loving ways that are comfortable and maybe a little bit uncomfortable, as gentle as you can be. Start writing down what's inside. Believe me, I've done lots of that. I'm not sure I understand. What are you so mad about, Brenda? And I'm like, well, let me tell you. And there are times when I'm not really sure. And that's okay too. I just say, well, I love you. And I really want to understand why you're feeling the way you're feeling, or what's going on. I hope that answered your question a little bit. Because partly you know that I want to have an experience with all of you. So if there's no more questions, yeah, so I invite you, everyone here, we get a healing today. We are here to heal. We are here to repair. That is how powerful we are, again, because that's our intention. You're sitting here in this experience right now to heal. Okay. So let's close our eyes, our beautiful eyes, and let's breathe. Let's slow down our thoughts. Let's just let go. And I'm sure I'm talking to myself right now because it's been a busy, a little bit chaotic day, and I want to honor this day. And I honor your day. And I invite you to just relax, releasing any tension anywhere in your beautiful body. And do that beautiful scan that I always like to do, just starting with the top of your head and moving down, all the way down, and just relax. And notice your breath. That magnificent breath that's always there, we don't even have to think about, never have to worry about. It's always there. And do me a favor and breathe, inhale for as long as you possibly can. So just breathing in through your nose until you can't breathe in anymore, and then hold your breath for as long as you can. And it doesn't have to be long, it doesn't matter. Just hold your breath. And then when you need to and you can't hold it anymore, just exhale through your mouth for as long as you can. So slowing down our nervous system, allowing ourselves to become fully present in this very moment. So I'm going to do it once with you. And that gives our body a little reset. And here, my friends, I invite you to imagine. I invite you to imagine that you are standing before the ocean. Whichever ocean you imagine, whichever body of water, actually, wherever you choose to be in your beautiful imagination, I invite you to imagine yourself standing there. Notice the sky above and the ground below and the sound of the water. Just notice and breathe. Allow yourself to slow down. Feel that gift of the water, those positive ions, just warming your body. And as we're standing here with our water and the earth and the wind, I invite you to imagine that you're pulling out parts of you, emotions within you, or wounds. Just imagine pulling them out of your body. You're just going to hold them in your hands for a minute. But anywhere in your body that you feel tension or wounds, dis-ease, just take them from your body and put them in your hands. This is a willingness to let go of that does not serve you. This is an action of being willing to change. And it is most definitely a willing to release the condition. When you're ready, notice what's in your hands. These wounds that you pulled out, this dis-ease, this discomfort. And as you're holding these beautiful experiences that might not have been very fun, might have been challenging and hurtful, overwhelming. I invite you to love them. Say thank you, conditions. Thank you, feelings. Thank you, experiences. I love you. I honor you for coming into my life. I thank you, and I powerfully and lovingly let you go. So say some version of this to your beautiful parts. And when you're ready, throw them into the water. Let them go. Allow them to be released from your being, not to avoid or deny, to honor and let go of, though, knowing that you are allowed to be healed. You deserve the very best. As you let them go, I invite you to step into the water if you're not there already within your imagination. Put your toes into the waves that meet the ground. And as you step into that water, I invite you to imagine that that water is getting soaked up as if you're a sponge from the bottom of your feet, up your ankles and your calves and your knees and your hips, up your intestines, to your heart and your chest and your back, down your arms, to your neck, to your head, and beyond. And as you allow this loving, cooling, healing balm to enter your very being, I invite you to open your heart. However this looks for you, just to say, I am open, I am willing to receive. And from the water, you notice a light growing. This light is getting so bright, you can barely see it. It's just so bright, it's almost blinding. And you know it's not the sun because you feel it in your heart. This love, this visible love coming from above the water into your very being. And maybe you can imagine yourself opening your arms, saying, yes, I am willing to receive my goodness. Very nice. So beautiful. Okay, and relax. Relax again, my friends. Let's just breathe this in for another minute. When you're ready, come on back to me. Maybe not come back all the way, stay there a little bit in your heart. Know that you are always receiving this very goodness. Come back and open your eyes. Be with me for just a couple more seconds. My daughter asked me a while ago, she said, why is it so hard for us to love ourselves? And my knee jerk was like, it's not hard for us to love ourselves. And then I went, actually, yeah. Why is it so hard? I thought that was just such a beautiful question. And for me, I'm still asking myself that, and I honestly haven't come up with an answer that really resonates with me yet. But I invite you to ask it of yourself. Because I feel ever since she asked me this months ago, I've been passionately kind of showing up for that question of like, okay, yeah, what can we do? How might we go about doing things? And I do feel that it's unique to each and every person. And yet, it's not everywhere yet, right? So let's spread this joy. Let's spread this love, because I know, and we know, that it all begins with us. Everything outside of us is a mirror of what's going on inside. Isn't that glorious? That when discomfort arises and these moments of pain arise, that they literally are, these are opportunities within yourself, parts of you saying, will you love me? I need you to love me. And you say, yes, yes, I will. I don't know how, but I will. That's okay. You're going to figure it out. We all will. Intent is everything. Choose to love yourself. Choose to heal and be your powerful self, your powerful being. I adore you in absolutely every way. And I adore myself. We all matter. Let's be even more loving to ourselves and each other. Thank you so much for being you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching this. Thank you for liking it. Oh, and don't forget, because like tomorrow starts the boot camp. I hope that you'll join us for the boot camp. So yay. Have a wonderful July. I'll see you next month. I love you. I can't find that. There it is.